Bitcoin Brown here on the Bitcoin flash crash that happened this week. So, like I say, crypto is not for everyone. And that's why I always tell you should go in 50% Bitcoin, 25% large cap crypto, 25% small cap, because even giant whales and we're going to talk about what happened real quick at a high level, they can't crash at all. If they did, eventually someone could take them out. So remember, these videos are for entertainment purposes only. Do not take any information for financial investment or financial advice. This is entertainment only. Okay, so on the Binance network, they basically, a whale or group of whales realized that exchange did not have enough to cover a massive sell. And so they dumped I don't know the exact number. I haven't looked at it yet. I may not have time to look at it. Got a lot going on. They dumped an enormous amount of Bitcoin. Now, I've told you before, you have to understand that crypto is not like stock trading. There's a similarity, but there's a dangerous dissimilarity you need to be aware of. So what happened, and I don't know all the particulars yet, so take it with a grain of salt. So someone saw that exchange could not cover a massive Bitcoin sell-off. So they started selling. All right, so this is where you have to get the mythological symbol of the Worm Ouroborus in your head. You know the snake that swallows its tail? That's the Worm Ouroborus. Now, this is important because if you'll understand in a second what they did. So at high level, so a lot of people put stop sells on their stock and on their crypto. These cats somehow they knew there was a lot of stop loss set on crypto. So they started this Worm Ouroborus. So as they started selling the crypto, they couldn't cover it. So the price of Bitcoin started going down precipitously from 64,000 to 8. When that baby hit 8, they were swarming back in to buy at 8. See, they time traveled. They went back 2-3 years by this sell. They were actually time traveling Bitcoin back. They grabbed it at 8. So they sold it. They made all that profit. They got all that profit from 66 or 64,000 when they sold. They got all that. Then they swarmed back in and bought it. They made somewhere around 8 times their money by doing that. Now, you're not going to hear that because no one's going to admit to it. But the other thing is there are probably people who lost a lot of money because if you had a stop loss set, say you had a large holding, 100,000, 200,000, 500,000, and that thing started stop lossing, you may have stop lossed out at 50,000. And that sold, so they started this cascade effect. So you sold out at 50, so you lost $14,000 right there. They scarfed $14,000 off these stop loss sets. And in stocks, a lot of people do that. They set a stop loss. So you have Ford. You say if Ford goes below $10, auto sell. I don't know what Ford's trading at right now, maybe 14 a share. But if Ford had some bad news, hypothetically, and it started dropping, you may have set a stop loss in your stock trading account, and that would trigger an auto sell. That's what happened to those Bitcoin holders. I think it was on the Binance network, but don't quote me on that. So it was on a crypto exchange. Let's just say that. And then they stop lossed out. So as this is cascading down, the Worm Ouroborus whale attack basically got her down to 8 and they swarmed back in. So they took that stock took the Bitcoin price in that exchange from 64 to 8, swarmed back in and made a ton of money. I mean, that's brilliant. That was brilliant thinking. Unethical as hell. Probably not illegal, but, it's immoral what they did. But they were geniuses nonetheless. So that's why I tell you got to be really careful with crypto. Now, Bitcoin dipped, not everywhere, but in that exchange it dipped. But that shakes everyone's confidence in Bitcoin, right? Because you say, well, look what happened to those guys. I'm not going to buy Bitcoin. So they selfishly, they made a lot of money for themselves. Hey, they could do it. They figured it out, made a ton of money. Probably a whale, and he probably some very rich person who bought Bitcoin has a lot of programmers working for him, crypto type guys, and they figured out and they went to him and said, hey, we can do this. We can crash this exchange. We got the data. They set it up and they went in. And it was, of course, all the hype because Bitcoin was at an all-time high. So they went in, swarmed in, crashed that exchange, got her down. They scarfed all that money up, handed it back to the whale, and then the whale said, okay, take this back. And he probably bought the same amount of crypto, he, they, she, whoever, the same amount of crypto they sold, but at 1/8 the price. So they got 7/8 of the money into their fiat account or wherever they wanted to put it, and they got all their crypto back. It's ingenious what they did. There's no doubt about it. So that's the danger you're in crypto, and that's the danger that you have to really have a different consciousness when you're buying this crypto. So it may not be for you, okay? But if you do the 50, 25, 25 rule, now you may fluctuate there, but you don't want to be all in Bitcoin. And here's another tip. You don't want to be all in one exchange either, okay? Because you can be wiped out. So that's why having crypto wallets and having different accounts and different exchanges with different passwords and different ways of authenticating are critical. I have to do a whole video on that, why you have to have cold wallets, hot wallets, and you have to have be on different exchanges, because you don't want someone to hack this and get through all your money, so you have to divide it up. And it's more troublesome, but that's the world you live in. Okay, you have to be extraordinarily security conscious, from stop loss sets that people use against you to crypto exchanges that can be exploited, like the one we're talking about, to hackers getting into certain exchanges and robbing you of all your money. I'd say at a minimum, you want to be on 3 exchanges. You want to have, at a minimum, 3 cold wallets. Okay, that's offline wallets, and they've got to be backed up a lot. You got to have at least 3 times 3, 9. So you'd have 3 cold wallets backed up, 3 behind them. So 4 in total per wallet. You have to do this stuff because you're in a different world. So anyway, that's kind of a big, broad overview of the dangers in crypto and what happened to the flash